That will be explained in just a moment as the heart comes in from our esteemed and most frequent guest. But this right here is the Monday Night Quarterback Week 9 recap edition. Welcome in. I'm thrilled to be here. This is going to be a spicy one, friends. We've got a pre-sauced amigo, Senor Drew. How are you doing over there, bud? What's going on?
Just living that high life. You got a new sponsor today. Bullet Bourbon. NFL sponsor. Also Monday night quarterback sponsor. Couldn't do it without him. I mean, we could, but we'd be less drunk.
Love to see it. I can't wait to see what comes of that. Bullet, thank you for the sponsorship. Hopefully we can keep it for more than a week. And then fresh off the Bali honeymoon with child in tote, ? Logan, what's going on?
Hello, friends. Actually can't find the child right now. So we're just going to hope that he's okay. It's just me.
It's a boy.
Priorities. Oh yeah. There's your gender reveal. Yeah, it's a boy. And yeah, going great, but priorities, gotta jump back on the Monday Night Quarterback. He'll figure it out.
That's right. Yeah, the kids are resilient. I know you were honeymooning, but I know, you're back. It's Monday Night Quarterback. You know what it is. Are we sponsored by anybody tonight, Logan?
We are. As I was raised in the state up north, I'm representing with one of the finest brews, Bell's Two Hearted, out of Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Okay. I almost don't even want to say this before the game happens, but as our mutual enemy, Michigan, seems to be a little bit neutered so far this year. I think we can all celebrate things from Michigan. Hopefully, I'll know more in a few weeks. But so
Agreed.
far, so good. Yeah. How you feeling about Sparty so far, by the way?
Oh yeah, I'm really glad you asked. It's actually first night of basketball season, so
Okay.
we're feeling good. We're back to being a basketball school until further notice. The new coach, I'm not really sold on him. We really should have beat Michigan, the neutered team up the road, and we still couldn't do that. It's been a transition year, but they got a talented quarterback. They might be a problem in the next couple of years, but I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, they've crushed my dreams, Drew, in your home of Indianapolis years back. I took my wife great weekend out over to Indianapolis, got to experience the downtown, walking inside and all the walkways connecting all the buildings. We ate at a steakhouse. We don't do that very often. Just a great and amazing place until Sparty wanted to rise up and tell us that it wasn't a phenomenal trip. It was just a great one. But Indianapolis has changed, I think, since you've moved there. Is that true?
I don't know. I wasn't there with steakhouses.
That's true. You went for a championship, though, didn't you?
We did. We went for one.
I don't remember that trip very much.
No, you don't. Brought to you by Bullet Bourbon.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know why you didn't remember that. Yeah, I remembered it. Cardale Jones, old 12 gauge, slanging it. And we crushed the Badgers, and it was a great time. And I didn't see any of Indianapolis. I don't remember what it looked like then. And honestly, I try to avoid it now. So,
all right. Not a big city guy.
Yeah, not really. But I'll venture up there eventually.
I think as we glance at Taylor Swift for the 800th time, 1 minute and 10 seconds left in the second quarter of this Kansas City Chiefs.
She's there. She was just in Indianapolis.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Hey man, all weekend. She was on the building and everything. And
when you got a 747 at your disposal, you can be anywhere. It's no big deal.
She's not flying coach.
A carbon neutral jet and shot over to KC.
Amen.
Drew, the planet stuff.
Why don't as we glance at Taylor, let's take a look at a little bit of rundown here. Run us through some of the mechanics of getting some of this stuff checked off, will you? NFL pick'ems to start. I'm going to try and pull it up as you talk.
We got pick'ems. Bob Stradamus almost went undefeated. You believe that? 13-1. He missed Seattle. He has Seattle Didn't pull that one off. Every other game, perfect, beautiful. 13-1 pending. Kansas City here, who has the lead, could be 4-1. Big week. Myself and the Tsunami, 11-3. 10-4 for Bandits, Sharks, Niners, replacements. 9-5 for the Aints or the Titans. Sorry.
Yeah, Titans.
Players Club 9-5 as well. 8-6 Renegades, Coyotes, and Bushwhackers with his contrarian picks. Yeah, he's done.
He can. I mean, we can give him a pass. He can kind of quit now, right? He's allowed.
Yeah. He's. I'd say about 3 weeks ago he was okay to. But,
Okay.
Hey, you know what? You never win if you quit. So, the overall standings, yours truly, 93 wins.
Congrats.
Niners at 92, Kings at 90, big surge by the Kings, Tsunami at 90, Club at 89, Renegades 89, Sharks 88, Bandits 85, Replacements 84, 81 for the Titans, and 73 for the Coyotes.
Yeah, Logan. I know you did. How long were you gone, by the way?
2 weeks.
You got a quick Bali report for us? Is it a place to visit?
We had a great time. Not quite as affluent as you might think if you just look at a few photos. Actually, a lot of the country is probably not that well off, but there's some beautiful views, a lot of good food, nicest people I've ever met. The flight is something serious though. So, I mean, we had a blast. If we're flying that long ever again, we're going to go somewhere else just because we've done the Bali thing, but it's 24 hours in the air plus layovers and stuff. So
hot dog. Wow. Family show.
Yeah.
And don't worry, we take no offense to the nicest people you ever met comment. We can just move right past that. That's fine too. But I'm glad.
I was laying by the pool and catching up on the Monday night quarterback. So really, you guys are included in that comment.
Oh, okay. All right. Good to know. Good to know. How are you feeling about your opportunity to come back and win the NFL Pick'ems and try and get yourself in that Hall of Fame?
Hall of Fame talk might be a little premature here, but
okay,
man, I'm still kicking myself for week one because since week one, I've been, in my opinion, really solid, and I was just put behind the 8 ball super early, and no one else is slowing down. I feel like I'm going 11-5, 10-4, somewhere in that range every week, and I'm barely gaining any ground. So I'm going to have to maybe have a Bob Stradamus week or two to really get back in the mix.
Did you catch the most recent episode where we allegedly had a special guest, Bob Stradamus, who wasn't able to make it, and then we talked about our best reasons for having somebody call off of work? I
did. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I got some good positive feedback about that. Hopefully you enjoyed that one a little bit.
It was great. Yeah. I could especially relate to the I can't make it. I'm too busy getting pregnant.
Yeah, exactly. Great. Full circle. I love that. Man, you're a smart, witty dude. I feel like we're kind of whack-a-mole here. It was the Renegades we were chasing for quite a while. Now Kara's kind of fallen off. She's 4 games back. Drew, you're up there at the top. I know, it's not a ton of turnover, but when you have such a tight grouping, somebody, even if Kara had a bad week, somebody's going to have a good week, and, there might be a new leader up there. I mean, you've been cruising a little bit, but there's no separation right now. It's kind of tough to make some ground. Am I wrong?
No, absolutely. It's really, I'd say you're over 80 wins. You got a shot right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw how Nostradamus just pulled out a big week. I mean, he gained 2 games this week. So,
right.
A couple of those, I mean, I'd say, we're only halfway through the season. So, you have a few of those weeks, you might be able to gain about 6, 7, 8 games. So, if you're within 10, you got a shot.
Okay. Now, boys, we had a little bit of homework assignment, a joint project, if you will. I'm going to jump to our division winner predictions. Let's start there, and then we'll come back to the other stuff. I've got the NFL pick'ems, not pick'ems. What's the other thing? Total wins, NFL team wins. That thing is updated. We'll come back to that in just one second. But let's jump to our division winners, if you guys don't mind. So the project here, homework assignment number 1, this should be a pretty quick one, is let's pick a division winner for each of these divisions. We can try and update as of this week's scoring. I think most of these games are in hand, but let's start at the Eastern. Logan, I want to start with you. Do you see Tsunami holding on, or do we need to worry about Angelo and the Coyotes, the only original member not in the Hall of Fame, jumping up and taking this thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's gotten interesting, at least. It looked for a few weeks like Tsunami might run away with it. But he still got the lead and allegedly is getting Christian McCaffrey coming back. So I do think that Pops is going to hold on, but I haven't been overly impressed with my week 1 Super Bowl pick, I have to say. So maybe Coyotes or even the Titans off a big win this week could jump up and get them.
Yeah, I think the Titans have a formidable team. I'm worried about the depth of Tsunami. I know he does have McCaffrey coming back, but I played him this week. We're going to get into that matchup here in a little bit. Some guys to fear, but not – I don't know, man. I just don't know if he's got it. I look at the Coyotes. I kind of feel the same thing. I think the Titans have a chance to take this division home, honestly. I know that, I would get good odds in that realm, but Drew, you with me or are you taking a different avenue here?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a free-for-all there. No team's really – I don't know. I don't see anybody that's just going to run away with it. Coyotes are coming on here, so they got a shot. Tsunami is he came out good, but we got the Peru trip coming up, so
he's there now.
I don't know. Maybe coming up as in happening. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, first week of the Peru trip, and yeah, he's going down this week. I mean, I don't know. It'll be tough. It'll be tough. I like the Titans as well. I think they have a good team, so it'll be a tight one.
I think one thing we need to consider, first of all, this is an exercise where we have to pick a team. I noticed that neither one of you actually picked a team, so thanks for that. 2, it's different in that his Peruvian trip is different in that, normally when he goes to Europe, he's with my mother, his wife. He's in Peru right now with his buddies. It's a boys' trip. So
it's dangerous.
Yeah, I don't know what, if anything, that's going to do to his Tsunami faithful, and we'll probably get into this with our next gimmick here in just a minute. But it's something to consider. He's gone this week and next weekend, so we need to be on the lookout and see what that does to his futures.
And we do know that he's not much of he doesn't play well on the road.
Right.
He's more of a home team
traditional
well kind of guy.
You're right, traditionally. So do you two have a quick pick for this division, or are we just going to be ambiguous with that?
I did pick the Tsunami if you want to review the transcript, but
Okay. Logan, we don't fact check here. I'm sorry. Drew, how about you?
The Golden Titans.
All right. 2 for the Titans. That's 1 for the Tsunami. Moving on to the Central. Logan, it's no shade at you, man, but the club is running away with this thing. I'm looking at points for. He's got 426. Look at the nuts down low, 457. Does he have a shot to get back up and grab this thing? Oh, man, I don't know. This is tough. Drew, are you too far out of it? Why don't we start with you?
No, I'm not too far out of it, but I'm finding interesting ways to lose games this year. So right now, I don't have a lot of confidence in the team and their ability to cohesively win some games. So there's kind of a chip shot this week, a pitching wedge, if you will, and I flubbed the hell out of it. And so yeah, I just coming off this week, I don't feel good about it.
Okay. We'll get into that matchup here, and don't worry. Yeah, we'll talk quite a bit about it. I did stay up and watch your game last night, and I felt bad for you. I can't lie. I was a little bit excited about the content aspect of it, but I did feel bad for you.
Yeah.
Logan, let's jump to you. We can come back to Drew for his pick on this division. Are you going self-confident? Or are you going humble?
Well, first, I'm wondering why we think the Players Club is running away with this division.
I had to say something. I don't know. I'm reading this, as we're talking here, but yeah.
You getting paid by Tito's?
I'm getting paid. Oh, I should note that Buffalo Trace is back again with me. This is like 4 out of the last 5 weeks. I can't quit it. I appreciate it. All glory to Buffalo Trace.
Yeah, a guy a few weeks ago forgets the name of it, and then this week forgets to introduce it. So we're not getting that money anytime soon. But to answer your question, yes, if I'm going to pick a winner, I would actually pick myself. I am feeling all right. I'm only 5-4, but it's only a game back, and the club is showing some signs of weakness. I mean, I know he beat me when he had like 30 something points. Might be a little smoke and mirrors here, but really this is the best division in the CFFL. So any of these teams, I almost picked the Bushwhackers because they're making moves.
I agree. He came on to this year's show, the Monday Night Quarterback, and prophesied about his ability to turn this thing around and get some wins. And he's done that. He's played well, 400 total points for just running up against a couple of tough opponents. I agree with you. This is the toughest division in football in the CFFL. Man, I don't know. I want to look at these teams a little bit more, but
don't count out Drew despite, his couple of slip ups, because he's still got, I think, maybe the most points out of all of us after this week still.
Yeah, I think so too. Man, yeah, I'm gonna go club, but I'm not feeling very confident about it. I'm not.
That Tito's money's speaking.
Yeah,
they got a partnership from there apparently.
I
think the club is going back to the Bushwhackers a few weeks ago. I think the Bushwhackers and Logan and myself actually have the 3 best teams. The club has been a little bit smoke and mirrors, a little bit of lucky, but you know what? You need luck to win. So it doesn't matter what he is. He's leading the division. So
you are what your record says you are, is what I've heard. Okay,
he is who we think he is.
Yep. That's nice, Drew. You've sidestepped the answer a couple of times here. Moving on to the Western Division.
No hard truth from Drew this week.
I'm refraining from picking.
Okay.
No, we're on to Bullet. All right, we're on to Bullet. Okay.
Yeah, hard truth. It ain't working. We're turning over a new leaf. I got quite a bit coming up in my matchup, I believe, for this one, but I think by the end of the season, the Land Sharks are going to run away with the Western, and it's not going to be close.
Man, you guys are so modest on this show.
Logan, Mike's always been one of the most modest people I know. That includes the people in Bali.
I'm the humblest guy in Columbus. The humblest.
Many people are saying.
That's right. If you don't believe me, just ask me.
Everybody thinks so.
I'll agree with you, but I don't think it's going to be a runaway. I think you'll pull it out in the end, but I think you and the Niners are going to have a pretty good battle.
Okay.
The Niners team is still really good, man, despite a couple losses.
The depth. I'm worried about the depth, and we'll get into it. Obviously, he scored a ton of points. He's 3-0 in the division, so I got a mountain to climb, but I'm feeling confident. I see some chinks in the armor. Drew, do you see what I see, or are you going with the Niners or somebody else? Maybe the Bob Stradamus in absentia, who couldn't make it with us tonight.
No Stradamus, but it's hard to get over Derrick Henry. That's the mountain.
Stay healthy. Stay healthy.
You know what I mean? He stays healthy. That's a mountain to climb to beat you, but I kind of still feel like the Niners might have it.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, it'll be tight, but I'll take Niners.
Tell the Sharks we can't. Tell us we can't do something. We love it. It's going right up on the bulletin board. Drew and his bullet. Perfect. Gents, I want to jump into the next thing we have on the docket. Logan threw out something I thought was genius. Logan, can you introduce us to what you had in mind, and then I'll cue it up here for you.
Yeah, so in honor of everyone's favorite NFL coach that just got fired today, Dennis Allen and the Saints, lame duck for the last few weeks, I figured it would be a good time to assess the state of how the owners in the CFFL are looking at their coaches, if there's any coaches that are really on the hot seat, and specifically what Bet MRM is putting up for the odds board.
Yeah, it's great that you should ask that. One thing quickly is that, we learned recently that Dennis Allen had been fired as the head coach of Derek Carr, not once, but this is the second time over the period of a decade. So I think that has to be a record. I can't imagine that that's been done previously. But yes, I did check with our friends at Bet MRM to see what the odds are for first coach fired in the CFFL. And, what do you know? They came through. I have those listed on the screen right now. Can you guys see those okay? Are they coming through?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Drew. And Logan, I know that's not your middle name, but I'm sorry. I wanted to go with it, and it felt right. I apologize.
You make me sound like royalty. Reginald, my goodness.
I know. LRS. LGS, but, here we are. Drew, I want to start with you.
We don't fact check.
Yeah, we don't fact check. Drew, I want to start with you. I've got 2 bets that if I were an alleged betting man, I would be making based on value, based on who I think might actually take this thing down. But I want to start with you. Do you have a bet or 2 bets? Where are you at? I just want one right now, please.
We're taking who are we taking here to get fired?
Yes.
This year.
Yeah.
That's all we're doing.
And if you have questions about the odds, I'm happy to talk. I've got an answer sheet from our friends at Bet MRM to explain any odds that you think are kind of way out of bounds.
Okay. So, I love chasing the big odds, right?
Yes.
Just like the 49ers fullback, anytime touchdown.
Yes.
I love taking it. How many games do you have to win to be in the playoffs? What's the no crap? Nobody's ever been out of the playoffs with how many wins?
8.
8's the number, right?
Yeah. 8's the number. Used to be 7.
I'll put $100 on the Players Club.
Whoa. Currently sitting at 6 wins. With
6
how many
wins.
games we got left?
He gets one more, and then he has to go against the Bushwhackers, the Replacements, and the Bucknuts in division play. And so what I'm saying is he gets one more in non-division play. He gets none in division play, and he goes from the top to the bottom. So come playoffs, when he's chasing the toilet bowl, ownership will have to regrettably sever ties.
My goodness. Tito's is shaking in their boots. That $100 bet will net you $825 after payout. I believe that's correct. Again, we don't fact check here, but you went all the way to the top. I tell you what, you in your alleged betting endeavors swing for the fences, unlike your baseball game of, teenage years and early adolescent time period. You were very much, up the middle, getting base hits, running the bases, making smart plays. But it's just nice to see you kind of let loose here. This is exciting and invigorating almost. Logan, I know you don't have anything that monumental, but what do you got for me?
I mean, that was pretty spicy, and I'm not mad at it. He was just saying Players Club is the weakest team in the division. Why not come and back it up with a Benjamin Franklin in hand? I support that. Are we just doing one, or did you say 2?
I would like 2 if you have them.
All right.
But again, if you have any questions about the odds, I'm here for that as well.
So when I first looked at these odds, I thought that the Renegades might actually be some value, despite being the lowest odds at -120. But then thinking about it more, it's a young coach, patient ownership, as we know, and I think there's a little bit of slack that Kara has before she's gonna be, in some hot water. So I think the Bandits -110. I mean, it's been just all in all not a good season for Tom. Maybe he should have taken Justin Tucker. That could have solved some problems. But I think out of the favorites, the lower odds, I think Tom's a better bet there. And I actually was looking at Mr. Peru himself, not to ride Drew's coattails, but +725 for the Tsunami in that division. If he chokes it away, hope you have a good time on all your trips, but ownership might not be too happy with that.
Wow. My goodness, let's start with Tom. You know, he's been the head coach of the Big Daddy's Bandits now for 20 years, right? He is a Hall of Famer. You cannot knock the accomplishments that he's made in his career in the CFFL. I mean, you know, they're going to put a statue of him outside of the stadium when it's all said and done. No question about it. But I think it was a PR nightmare last year with the whole Justin Tucker drafting a little early. Some have said he's been roasted kind of on the X Twitter streets. And they're still trying to recover from that. You know, this year, I have said on this year podcast, Monday Night Quarterback, that his record should be better than the 2-6 that he currently occupies. But guess what? You are what your record says that you are. And that's just where he is. It's a bad stroke of luck for Tom and the Bandits. Could they be parting ways? I think that's probably a good reason why the odds are considering, you know, him as a potential favorite there. It's just a rough season. Mr. Peru. Oh, that's you guys, man, spicy take again. I think the dude has won a ton in the league. You know, I think I was trying to decide who was the Mike Tomlin of the group. You know, I got to look back in recent past and see if he's had a losing season. I can't remember one off the top of my head. Drew, do you remember Tsunami and Randall Monfredi having a losing season recently?
Not recently, no.
Yeah, I don't know, but maybe, you know, Super Bowls are the expectation. So maybe ownership's thinking that it's getting a little bit stale and they need to spice it up a little bit. Kind of like your takes.
Kind of like a Belichick situation, right?
Maybe.
You got the Hall of Fame connection. He had the quarterback for all the years, and then they part ways years ago, and now it's just you're treading water. You're doing okay. You're 500. You're treading water. Still winning a little bit, but it's not where you want to be.
Yeah, I heard that the coach was the one pushing for that number 1 pick of Christian McCaffrey, and the ownership is not happy about it. So you wonder when that's really gonna come to a head.
I know, but you can't argue with the fact that he's still getting wins in spite of it, you know. And now that number 1 pick is coming back, I think that the leash obviously has to be extended a little bit to kind of see what this thing does. I mean, I understand where you're coming from. I probably wouldn't throw down, you know, I wouldn't throw 5 on that bet.
Well, what say you?
Yeah, what say me? I'm looking at the board. Obviously, you know what? I think that this is not the best value pick, but if we're picking, you know, who's going to actually be the first coach fired, I got to look at Bob Stradamus, man. It's not going great. He came in as a hot to trot, you know, kind of Billy Bean style guy that shook it up a little bit. I know he's done well in baseball in the past. He's played fantasy baseball for 25, 30 years and done supremely well in those leagues, allegedly. It has not translated. I don't think that he's won a Super Bowl, has he, Drew?
No.
Yeah. So I think the ownership is getting very, very kind of sour on Bob Stradamus in the Kirby Kings franchise. And I think that, honestly, if he has a couple more losses in a row, that might be it for him. So that would be my first bet right there.
Maybe they'll keep him on as an advisor for just the NFL weekly picks.
That could work. Yeah, because that's working out all right. And then the other thing, I think when Jason Rhodes came on this podcast here, the Monday Night Quarterback, which I'll reference today's end. Thank you, Buffalo Trace, for sponsoring us and giving us the platform here to spit these takes. But when Jason Rhodes came on this podcast and let loose, I don't know if anybody caught it, that he's kind of managing 2 teams at the same time.
Got it.
I don't think that the Titans franchise really took well to that information. Now, I know we're not here to break news. We're here to report on what we see in these here football games. But I think that the relationship soured when that comment was made. And I'm worried about the division that was made. And I haven't seen much in the way of reparations to let, you know, for Jason to let the team know, the franchise know that, hey, I'm all in on the Titans. Because based on what he said, he's got 1 foot in either pond. And, you know, like they say, when you got 2 quarterbacks, you got no quarterbacks. You know what I mean? I don't know. What do you think about that pick, Drew?
Yeah, I'm not with you. My second one's going to be myself, because if I don't win next week, I'm just going to throw $100 on myself, and I'm going to fire myself, and I'm going to collect the winnings. I'm going to Pete Rose this shit. Stop. Yeah, that's about where I'm at because to have the roster I have with the performance I've had and to be 4-4-1, that's inexcusable. So, yeah, I'm on the hot. I'm putting myself on the hot seat. I don't really understand this whole, as you guys talk, ownership to coach relationship. I'm like Belichick. I am the coach. I'm the owner. I'm everything, and I suck right now. And so, we'll see what happens next week. I'm either gonna win a stinking football game, or I'm gonna at least make $700 on myself.
Okay. I love to see it. All right, boys. Yeah, I like it. We're going to record those bets. We'll come back and check in on them at the end of the year and see, who's the first coach fired if we get a firing. We had complete retention from last year, so we'll see if it's the same going forward. Let's move forward. We're going to run through NFL wins pool real quick. I'm going to pull that up on the screen. If you don't mind, gentlemen, bear with me just 1 second. Great for radio. I know. It's the truth. But I think we're finally starting to see some separation in this here game. Can you see it now, gents?
Sure can.
Yes.
All right, perfect. So we've got Kara and the Renegades still running away with 13. And then behind her, 2 games back, I might add, we've got the 69ers and the Golden Titans. And that's it. What do we got? 10. We got 10 wins. Man, it's hard to see. Who's that? Is that you, Logan? That's you.
Yeah, I got 10.
Packers and Rams. I tell you what, the Rams could be on a tear here going forward. But I think in terms of this game, that's pretty much all we need to focus on. Those 4 teams. I don't know, unless you guys disagree. But
The club also has 10, Texans and Colts.
Thank you. I missed that. Oh, that's going to be tough. Same division.
Yeah.
I can't see that going well. Out of those 4 teams, I'm excluding the club. Are we looking at anybody to kind of run away with it? What teams are we liking the best? What combo?
Yeah, the Renegades, Bills and Steelers. I mean the Golden Titans there too, looking good. Lions and the Bucks, but the Bucks are coming up against the only undefeated here, and
I think the Bucks are going to win.
Think they're going to win?
I think the Bucks are going to win this game. Yeah, I really do.
That would be huge.
I mean, yeah, they got to play the Panthers again. I think once or twice. I can't remember if they have yet. So that's a good team as well. But the Bills are playing great. The Steelers, they always break 500. So and right now where they like 6 wins, 7 wins. So yeah, it's Kara's crushing it right now. We'll see if it holds up.
Yeah, Logan, what do you think? And I'm looking. I think all these teams are in good shape, but what do you think? Is one going to pull away?
Well, I mean, it's tough to be up to, like, that's a bigger gap than it seems like in this pool, especially with the Bills. You expect that they'll get to like probably 13 wins or something, and the Steelers, like Drew said, they're not gonna totally tank from here on out. I think the Lions and Bucks is probably the next combo that I like the best, but Chargers are looking pretty good.
Yeah,
and I think the Eagles they haven't peaked yet.
And they're coming into the
Kansas City though. Have they played them yet?
I don't know, but I think Denver's not that good, and they got the Raiders in that division. So
yeah, the Raiders are an easy win. Denver's 6 wins right now, but they suck this week. So yeah, I saw that. I think the Chargers are kind of weak, and I think the Eagles are overrated. So I was kind of leaving the 69ers out of there. But, Packers and Rams, like we said earlier, that's depending on the Packers. If they can get it together, and if Nakua and Cooper stay healthy, then they could sneak up there, but we'll see.
As Cade Otton catches a touchdown pass, which allegedly cashes in on a plus 250 odds bet and is good for the fantasy team allegedly as well. The Packers are doing well. I'm worried about, I don't know, Love seems injured, but these Buccaneers, man, they're frisky. They're frisky indeed. I think that the Lions and Bucks combo is something that Kara should keep a heads up for. Steelers are good for sure, but when it comes to the Eagles and the Chargers, I think the Eagles are coming to the stretch in their season where they've got like 6 double-digit projected double-digit favorite games in a row, or close to double-digit favorites. I mean, they've got a pretty soft schedule here for the next 5-6 weeks. So I think that they've got a chance to reel off some wins, even if you think, Drew, they're not the best team in the world. And it's interesting to me, gents. I see A.J. Brown out of the lineup. The team doesn't look the same. And I saw that he went out at the end of the game last week and just kind of, I don't know, downshifted a little bit. Seems like they don't play as well when he's not there.
They definitely need him. Also, the Bucknuts need him. But I heard today that he's considered day-to-day, so no need to panic quite yet.
I love it when you bring the facts and update us on what it is that's going on. Gents, have I missed anything? Can we get into the matchups now?
Let's do it.
You may.
All right. We've got 2 officially decided games. Drew, let's put you out of your misery quickly here, sir. You let the Renegades get their second victory of the season, and I realize that I said that in a not-so-nice way to the Renegades. I'm sorry. Let me reverse that. The Renegades went and laid the smackdown on you 36-30 and earned their second win of the season. I want you to understand that this is a safe space. We're here to support you. Probably poke fun of a few decisions that you made, but just let it out. How you feeling? Where'd you go wrong? And what are you going to do to get the win, to get back to 500 next week?
Since everybody else has been so modest on the podcast so far, I'll take my chance to go full modesty here. There wasn't another play to be made. I mean, if you look at the roster, there's really no reason to start anybody else. No decisions that I could have made differently or would have made differently. So, I mean, obviously you can always do something different. But, she could have started Justin Tucker instead of Will Lutz, but she didn't. So luckily I escaped with the 6-point loss, I guess. I don't know. It's one of those weeks, bad timing, and Mixon and Darnold. And Cedric friggin' Tillman. That was very interesting as well because I don't know if that last pass was over the 15 yards. I think it may have been. How much time was left in the game when Cedric Tillman caught that touchdown? That was the last play of the game?
I'm not going to lie to you. I had turned that game off a long time before that touchdown pass was caught. I apologize.
Yeah, so Cedric Tillman, we don't fact check. So last play of the game, Cedric Tillman catches a 20-yard touchdown pass. It was really close. It was a great catch. His feet were in bounds, even though I think they called it no catch on the field. They went back and completely
they did fact check.
Useless garbage time reversal. They gave him the touchdown, which actually would have been 7 points, and she would have had 29, and I would have won in a disgusting, awful performance. I would have won. Yeah. Cheers. Bill, brought to you by Bullet Bourbon.
Amen. I think clear skies ahead, better days in front of us, Drew. Obviously, Montgomery not getting in the end zone hurt. Jonathan Taylor, that offense just looked busted against Minnesota, one of the tougher defenses in the league. Jaden Daniels put up 11, but, for him, it's a modest 11. And then A.J. Brown going down doesn't help you very much. Obviously, Kyle Pitts, the phenom, scoring 0. That's not something that's typical. Do you have another kicker on your roster? Let me look at that. I doubt it, but no, you don't.
No, I just changed kickers. I just went from Dustin Hopkins. I actually dropped him the week that Deshaun Watson got hurt, where he's seeing an increase in usage. Although, 4 points, I think, this week?
Yeah.
For him, maybe 5. I think one was over 50. So, yeah, no real change there. No big deal.
Logan, can you see help shine some light on the Bucknuts, or do you see rougher skies ahead for him?
I mean, I don't think it's going to get rougher than this because AJ Brown should get healthy. I don't know what was up with Taylor last night. Like you said, the whole offense just kind of looked bad, but I thought Flacco was going to maybe bring some life to them, and it didn't happen for Taylor, but he's going to be fine. And usually the Lions will kind of rotate. So Montgomery not getting in the end zone this week. He'll probably score 2 next week. It's just one of those things that it's not going to happen every week. He's not Derrick Henry. But I think, this, and Jaden Daniels is a stud. So I agree with Drew. There's really nothing else that he could have done. And this really would probably be the starting lineup more often than not, based on the other options here. And more often than not, they're going to get him closer to like that 50 or 60, or whatever he scored last week, 70 something.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think better days ahead for the Bucknuts. I think the real thing that we need to discuss is that the over/under for the Renegades on the season was set at 2.5. I believe if we were a fact-checking podcast, we could make mention that I took the over and Drew took the under. So the irony isn't lost on the fact that she earns another win here against the Nuts themselves. So, sorry about it. I guess we should spend a moment on, do we think that the Renegades are going to get to that third victory? I don't know. Quick analysis. Drew, what do you think about that?
Cedric Tillman's a good pickup. That's an increased role. It's still crappy quarterback play, but squeezed out a touchdown this week. And then Puka Nacua, is he injured again?
He got ejected from that game for throwing a punch at a helmet.
Okay.
So you gotta wonder about the decision-making ability, but you would expect a better game for him going forward. They really could have used him, to make some separation in that game. That was a huge loss. And punching a dude in the helmet just doesn't make any sense to me. You have shoulder pads, you have a helmet, you've got knee pads, you've got thigh pads. You know what's not covered on 99% of the people on the field? The abdomen.
The abdomen, the groin area. Yeah.
Yeah. Can we try and break
it below the belt? But
that's
messed up.
I would try and break a rib or something, but a helmet?
Yeah.
No, not great.
Because wide receivers don't really need fingers, so go ahead and break a knuckle on a helmet. That's or you can just go straight Myles Garrett, and just take his helmet off and try to beat him with it. I mean,
that's a smart player. That's a smart player.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't even use his helmet. He kept his helmet on. You see what I'm saying? That's
smart
thinking
guy.
Ahead.
Yeah.
Premeditated murder. One of the two.
Thinking ahead with your head.
Yeah. Either way.
Yeah. I think I still stand by my 3. I'm taking the over on 2.5. Quickly, Logan, are you over or under on the Renegades 2.5 wins for the rest of the season?
I'll go over, just because she has Joe Mixon, and I tried desperately this week to get Joe Mixon, and it did not work. So I really hope for her sake it pays off, because allegedly she would have gotten 3 starting caliber players in return for 1 Joe Mixon, but she stood her ground, and I don't have Joe Mixon, and I'm a little salty because of it, but I'll still go over for her.
Do you want to give us any more information about that, or is that enough right there? 3 starting caliber. I want to analyze this draft or this trade.
Yeah, so I believe it was my first offer was maybe a little bit of a low ball, and it was declined. And I said, all right, let's get right back to it. So I believe the offer that I felt was pretty reasonable was Drake London, Tony Pollard, and one of my tight ends, not McBride, either Ingram or Cole Kmet. And I mean, she started the backup for Jacksonville at tight end this week. So, I thought it was reasonable, but didn't quite work out.
All right. So Evan Ingram, is a pass catching tight end in the Jacksonville offense. Tony Pollard did not make your starting lineup.
But he would be starting on the Renegades.
He would be starting on that. So that's
what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Okay. I got you. And Drake London. Nothing to sneeze at there. Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. Drew, what do you think about that trade? I think
Drake London's a beast. I like that. But then you kind of lose me with Tony Pollard and any tight end after that. So that's right.
Spoken like a true Kyle Pitts owner.
Okay, how many points did your tight end? Oh, Trey McBride. Oh, wow. He had 1 rush for 2 yards and a wow. Wow, good job, my man. Wow, you crushed it with Trey McBride. He really, good thing you got that touchdown, or you would have had as many points as Kyle Pitts.
They're manufacturing touches for him. You got to love it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Ride that to the Super Bowl, Trey McBride. If tight ends were good, people would be starting them on purpose, and they're not. Tight ends are trash.
Hey.
No offense, man.
Hey,
They block really well. They do block really well, and they give us something to talk about in fantasy football. But as far as production goes, it's trash. It's unpredictable, and it really doesn't matter. So that's what I would say to Drake London, just to move this along. Drake London and like Brian Thomas, I'd be interested. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Or Drake London and James Conner. Now I'm looking at that thinking, yeah, that might be worth it. But throwing in Tony Pollard on, you could put Derrick Henry back on Tennessee, and I'm not sure I'd want him.
Ooh, Derrick Henry. I like Derrick Henry right where he is. Let's leave him there. And let's leave your game there in the rearview mirror and move over to the other one that's decided. Players Club 6-3 now going forward. And the Coyotes jumping up close to 500, 4-5. Coyotes get the win 54-36. Did we have Ramondre Stevenson as the, Drew, we got to cover our touchdown prop too.
We do.
Was Ramondre Stevenson included in that?
He, man.
Drew, and I got to interrupt you. Drew, until Mike Evans comes back and starts playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or Cade Otton gets hurt, he needs to be included on any bet that we would allegedly make. Okay, this dude is the only offensive weapon catching passes for the Buccaneers. And I've said it like 3 weeks in a row. He needs to be included. That was the guy when I asked, should we swing for the fences or play it safe? That was the guy I was thinking about. But, I didn't say it, so I can't say it.
You didn't say it.
Yeah. You picked my pick.
Your team, your choice, man.
Yeah, we know what that means.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you hit a board, and I can't do anything about that. I can't read your mind there. So we did have Ramondre on there. He was a plus 140 this week.
Yeah. I feel like maybe we, just for we should take each of the bets individually and then also put the big prop together. You know what I mean? I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I already did that, and I hit on. I'd have to keep talking. I'll tell you how many I hit there.
I think you hit probably on 6 of 8 because it was.
No, I'm talking about outside of our league, picking a player and putting together the parlay. I did on my own. I had Devin Achane. Okay, Devin. Okay, that was a prop. Over under. I hit. Ferguson prop hit. See, now I got to scroll through. And Drake London, Chuba Hubbard, J.K. Dobbins, DeAndre Swift. I missed. Ramondre Stevenson, Tyrone Tracy. I missed. Brian Robinson was voided. He didn't play. Yeah, that's what I had.
Okay. I thought you were going to tell
me. That answers that.
Yeah, it does. It does. It really does. Coyotes getting 54 points in this matchup, giving the Players Club their third loss of the season. I got to be honest, helping the rest of us out. He's in your division. I'm chasing him for a first-round bye, something we can talk about at this point. Logan, what did you see in this matchup? What are you going to take from it going forward? How'd they get it done?
I mean, it kind of goes back to what we've been talking about a little bit with the club. Might be time to worry a little bit. He needs Mike Evans back, I think, and not having the voided Brian Robinson definitely hurt as well. But Jaden Reed's not scoring like he was early in the season. Bijan is racking up yards, but not scoring as much as he probably should. And James Cook had a rough game. Jordan Love might be hurt, as we were talking about. And Sam Laporta really hasn't been that good this year as your resident Lions fan.
Do you think that Sam Laporta is getting the Travis Kelce regular season treatment and they're going to unleash him in the playoffs? What's the thought there? Because obviously he's a weapon. Do they not need him or?
Well, I think Ben John, the offensive coordinator, is just really creative and likes to involve as many people on the offense as he can. And also, Sam Laporta isn't sneaking up on anybody anymore. So I'm sure that he's getting a lot more. I'm not a film bro, but I'm sure he's getting a lot more defensive attention. So, yeah, I mean, I think he's still a hell of a player, but it was going to be hard for him to duplicate what he did last year.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm looking
And they're
at,
blowing teams out, so they don't need to throw the ball a whole lot, which doesn't help him either.
that's true. Yeah, there's not as many pass attempts because I'm hearing Jared Goff stats, 18 for 18, perfect, passer rating. And
For like
then
100 yards.
Yeah, I know, but they're scoring 800 points and getting the job done and winning football games. So what do you need to do? And I was impressed. I thought with them going on the road playing outdoors, Jared Goff doesn't traditionally play well outside, but that running game was able to get it done and get the win for them. I was kind of surprised at the way that they won that game, but they did win the game that way. Drew, I'm looking at the club. Do you agree with Logan that he's going to have some struggles? I'm seeing Bijan Robinson. I don't know. What do you think?
I just said the coach is getting fired, so obviously.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Good call.
Yeah. I mean, Rico, however you say Dowdle. I don't know what the hell a Dowdle is. Did you see that catch? I mean, he should have caught it like 3 times. Yeah, I don't know what that was, but he squeaked away with the touchdown there. Kind of, I don't know if that was garbage time, but it was late. Brian Robinson coming back, Mike Evans coming back. That's great. He needs them. Otherwise, yeah, this will hurt.
He's getting
James
fired.
Cook is good. He's just not a high volume, high touchdown guy. And then he has Ray Davis, who I dropped earlier in the season. He picked up Ray Davis. He's been scoring some touchdowns, but I think you'll play the wrong guy there. I just don't feel like you need one of them to get hurt, which I don't want any of them to get hurt. But if James Cook gets hurt, that helps his team because you're never going to be able to pick who's going to score the touchdown.
And they're using Ray Davis at the goal line, which is hurting James Cook, and you can't start Ray Davis.
Yeah, but Cook can break off a 20-yard touchdown, and then there's no goal line carry, and then you picked wrong. You know what I mean? So it's like you can't predict the touchdowns between running backs when it's kind of a split backfield because he had 4. He only had 6 touches. He had 4 carries and 2 receptions. But the touchdown went for a ton of yards. I think it was a 60-some yard touchdown. So, it's not a good situation. There's not a lot of depth here. We still have some bye weeks to get through, and Jordan Love might be injured. Stafford's playing better. Carr, I don't know what's going to go on there. Can't get much worse. Yeah, it's going to be. That's fun. That's like I'm saying. It's a long shot, but I'll take the club for the first coach fired because it could get rough here. We don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, no, great value in the bet for sure. I'm looking on the other side of things. I think we had the Coyotes. I can't remember if it was 4.5 or 5.5 is over under. But he's looking like he's going to outperform that, no question about it. Amon-Ra is coming on. I think he's caught touchdowns frequently.
Yeah.
6 in a row, I think.
Wow, 6 in a row. I didn't realize. I thought there was a miss in there at some point, but there was not.
Nope.
Tampa Bay, as they're manufacturing screen passes to Cade Otton, now kicking a field goal up 17-10. Will they find a way to lose it? We will see. There is 5:50 left in the third quarter, but CJ Stroud has kind of fallen off. Do we have another option down? We don't have. Wow, Daniel Jones, 16 points. Didn't see that coming.
Danny Dimes, baby.
Yeah. Ramondre Stevenson on a terrible offense is getting in the end zone and scoring points last couple of weeks. So, somebody that you definitely need to worry about. Aaron Jones, I think better days are ahead for him. Like I said, that whole game was busted, the Colts and the Vikings last night. Not sure exactly what happened. Didn't work out for Drew. Didn't work out for any fantasy owner really that night other than Kara. And then Mark Andrews, he's had a couple of weeks where he's popped up and done some things. So I think, dangerous. How about Garrett Wilson getting off the snide, guys? Finally connected. Got a couple of touchdowns.
In style.
Yeah. In style.
Catch of the year. He's gone over 100 yards in 3 of the last 5, and then 4 touchdowns in the last 5. So
yeah,
he's getting there. It's not perfect. It's not beautiful yet, but he's getting there.
Is it just me, or do you guys love it when we have a new catch of the year every single week? On Twitter, it's like, oh, catch of the year. Watch this, and it's like the same catch every single time, or is it just me?
Yeah, and it's always compared to Odell Beckham.
I know. That was a while ago. Logan, did we cut you off? What were you going to say?
I was just going to say that it's actually kind of funny that Devontae Adams going to the Jets has helped Garrett Wilson. which I mean, kind of makes sense, but I didn't think that he was going to start blowing up like this. And I will say there's a lot of like fake news catches of the year. This one from Garrett Wilson was absolutely filthy.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, as Buckeye fans, we're happy to see that as well.
Yeah,
Let's
of
keep
course.
it moving. Let's keep it moving, gents. This is a Buckeye friendly podcast. As I don't know if I can say that. We're like, we're friendly to all guests, Logan. So, we appreciate Sparty as long as they're not, doing anything negative to our beloved Buckeyes.
Sparty's been harmless for like 10 years. So
I know, but I'll say that and then bad things will happen. So I just got to be careful. I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
I'm moving on to the matchup of 5 and 3. This was billed as one of the better games of the week. Not the best game of the week. I think that was we'll get to that here. Yeah, that's coming up. But definitely in the quad box for sure. I was nervous. I was very nervous about Josh Allen. I wasn't very nervous about Nick Chubb. But it was like a really low scoring affair starting out. I'll give my quick recap. Raheem Mostert coming off the 2-touchdown game last week. I thought the Dolphins had found something. They have found something. Their offense is kind of sputtering and then catching traction and then sputtering again. They scored 27 points against Buffalo, but couldn't get it done. They're not getting the wins. I like to see my fantasy guys winning games. It just didn't happen this week. Same with Raheem, 56 yards, fumble, 32 yards on the receiving end. But long live Derrick Henry. Let's put him in bubble wrap, make sure that he's having his good diet. I see him running hill sprints and stuff. The guy's, he's just phenomenal. I want to pull up his player card real quick, just so that we can appreciate what he's done so far through 9 weeks. Man, that's league winning. That's league winning stuff right there. If he can keep it up, but we'll see. Jahmyr Gibbs, Logan, as a Lions fan, you got to appreciate this, man, right?
I would like to report that Jahmyr Gibbs is good at football.
Yeah. Okay. That's good analysis. I agree with that.
Thank you.
Breaking here.
Yeah. I have it on good authority that the manager of Land Sharks, Michael Randall Monfredi, will be dropping Chris Olave at the waiver wire deadline. So stand by for that. That will happen. I cannot tell you when I thought that I was going to lose this game, how upset I was that I did not play either Zay Flowers or Jackson Smith and Jigba. Those were the 3 people that were vying for the one roster position where I did select Chris Olave, caught 1 ball, 13 yards, was killed by his quarterback, David Carr, who also killed his coach last week. And
Double
Drew,
homicide.
Yeah, Drew has reported David Carr not good at football. So that's true. Derek Carr.
Yeah.
At this point, it might as well be David.
Yeah. Either one.
Both suck. It's all right.
All right. I think I've exhausted. I've sang Cade Otton's praises so many times until Mike Evans comes back or he gets hurt. Cade Otton is, he's definitely a top 3 tight end in fantasy football. Is he the best tight end in fantasy football? I think so. I really do.
Ask Drew. He's the tight end whisperer.
Yeah, Drew, tell me.
He was so good, you passed right over him in the draft and picked him up on the waiver wire.
It's not about what we did. It's about what we're doing, Drew.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah.
I don't know about him being the best tight end.
All right, hold on. Let me pull this up for you.
Points. It does come down to points. And right now he is scoring points. We'll see if that continues. Kansas City is a tight end funnel. Pretty big. I think like top 5 tight end funnel. So they're okay with the tight end getting some balls. They just try to keep them out of the end zone, which they couldn't do this week.
No.
I want to hop over to Sinani real quick. Touchdown will be scored. Was the report the entire league got in a text message. And we chimed in with Josh Allen and J.K. Dobbins. Damn, we good. Yeah,
we are.
They both got touchdowns. Josh Allen, did he run one? He did not run one. Okay,
no,
just kidding.
But he did throw
Dobbins,
3.
anytime touchdown. Yeah. He said no touchdowns. Obviously, we needed the anytime. J.K. Dobbins decided 1 was not good enough. He wanted 2. So we nailed that, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, it wasn't enough. I thought that this game was definitely in doubt. I was very concerned about it. Logan, how do you see things going for Tsunami and Randall, Nello, Monfredi going forward? Good things ahead or trouble? What are you thinking?
Well, it'll all depend on McCaffrey, I think. At least a lot of it will, because he's probably expecting McCaffrey to just come back and, start scoring touchdowns at a ridiculous pace. And I could see it being more of a timeshare. And granted, Nick Chubb hasn't done anything this year. I don't think it's really, you're not missing much by putting McCaffrey in over Chubb. But it's not going to be the savior that he's probably hoping for. So really at this point, it's Josh Allen and hope and pray, because DJ Moore's been awful this year. He's starting Keon Coleman, my boy from Michigan State at one point. He's not a starting receiver in this league. He shouldn't be. So he's going to need a lot of big Josh Allen games coming down the stretch, and then hope that McCaffrey actually does show his form from last year.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there will be ups and downs. I can't remember what we set the over under at for Tsunami. But he's definitely going to be a playoff team. I think he's going to do well and get into the playoffs. I'm worried about, the ability to make it all the way. Keon Coleman did have a touchdown catch in his shoulder pad, his left one, I believe. It bounced right off of it and then was incomplete, but should have been a touchdown. I thought would have sunk me in the moment at the fantasy, in the fantasy game, but didn't happen. Here we are, 57-44. Sharks moving on to 6-3. Tsunami down to 5-4, and we will go from there. Anything left on this game, or shall we move forward, friends?
Next.
Right. Running on replacements. The MNQB. Oh my goodness. MNQB.
Family show.
Yeah, continue.
Yeah.
Family show indeed. The blessings continue, sir. You're getting the win not just next week, but also this week as well. Congratulations, going to 5-4, getting above the 500 mark. How you feeling?
Feeling all right. Just getting back to business. We're not on vacation anymore. We're back, and we have one goal, and it's not to get to 5-4.
Mm-hmm. The best thing about going to 5-4, Logan, is a chance to go to 6-4.
That's what I've heard.
Mm-hmm. And Drew will cover, who your matchup is next week. I'm sure, the respectable coach that you are, you've probably looked ahead and you know what's going on. Obviously, you want to focus on the win that you have in front of you right now. But, let's just take it one game at a time and see what happens. You know what I'm saying? I want to look at your bench, Logan.
We always do this.
Yeah. Are we considering? Is it time to bench Tyreek Hill? That's my question.
Yeah, that's the question every single week. Is this the week that we're going to do it? I mean, I benched him when he had, whoever was a quarterback when Tua was hurt. And I felt good about it. Yeah, Tom Savage or whoever it was. But now Tua's been back a couple games. Might as well be Randy Monfredi. I wish it was. He still hasn't popped off like I'm expecting. So I have all these guys that are basically the same to me. Brian Thomas is a level above the other ones. I don't want Drew to get mad. Brian Thomas is awesome. But I think I've started him like one time this year. That's been my mistake. So maybe next week will be the week. But yeah, it's the Tyreek thing has definitely been an issue for me all year. The rest of my team I feel pretty good about.
Was that your first round pick? It had to be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, that's tough.
He scored more than CMC.
That is true. Chalk it up as a win.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah, but I mean, it's the same thing. When your first round pick is when it's CMC and he scored 0 points so far this year, that makes it supremely challenging. But when it's been Tyreek Hill I think it's almost worse when he's occupying a roster spot and he's putting up, what is he putting up? He's putting up, he had one good week 1, and then 1, 2, 1, 3, 0, 3, 4. Bye week.
Not over 100 yards, 0 touchdowns since.
It's just not great, man. I mean, that's hard because, you're wrestling every single week. Is this the week where I don't start him? I think it makes sense when you had, The Rock throwing footballs to him, Pat McAfee from the WWE throwing footballs to him. But, when you got Tua back in there, it's hard to click the button and not start your number one overall pick when he's healthy. Here we are. What about the Kings, Drew? I want you to take a look at his team. Obviously, Jalen Hurts just keeps pushing that thing into the end zone. I don't know, man. We're
versus the Beast. Kareem Hunt's playing pretty good so far this game. Just it doesn't have the touchdown yet. Low scoring game, Tampa at Kansas City here, which kind of makes sense. I think the under on this one probably would have been a safe bet. DeAndre Swift, he's playing pretty decent. He has 4 touchdowns? He just didn't get one this week. 16 carries, 51, no touchdowns this week. He had touchdowns in 4 previous games. So that was kind of a hit. And then we've talked about CeeDee Lamb, where he I don't know what to do with him. He's either really good or really bad. There's no in between. And Marvin Harrison's he's still a rookie, and he's still just not quite there yet. So I expect next year is a good year to have Marvin Harrison. This year, not as much.
I came on here and I talked about Dalton Kincaid and how I thought he was going to have a great season because that's what I was told by my friends over at establishedtorun.com. And, I was wrong about that.
Blame them. It's not your fault.
Yeah, it's not my fault. He's got 2 touchdowns all year. It's not going great. It's going great for the Bills. It's not going great for Dalton Kincaid owners. I'm looking down at the Kings bench. Well, sorry, a little fast there. My bad. Malik Neighbors started super strong. 9 catches, 59 yards, but, hasn't scored a touchdown in how long? It's been a long time. What is that?
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
7
Yeah.
weeks. Yeah.
Not going great. So I don't know. I'm worried. I might be looking at the under. He does have TJ Hawkinson coming back, but it looks like we're going to ramp up based on the number of targets that he saw this week. But again, that game was broken, so time will tell. I'm a little bit concerned if I'm the Kirby Kings. The concern-o-meter probably would be around a 7. We're not quite into 8, 9, 10 territory for me, but definitely rising. And that's why I thought maybe he was a good value for the first coach fired. But we'll see. We don't like to see anybody lose their job.
No.
Didn't he score 88 last week?
That's a great question. I don't know how to navigate to that very quickly, but I think
we don't want to fact check either, but just the inconsistency week to week is alarming.
Tab on the side, week 8, click it, and we go down to the Kirby Kings, who scored 88 fantasy points last week.
So are you saying recency bias, Logan? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, no, I'm just saying it's really crazy how you can go from 88 to 34 with mostly the same team that you're trotting out there. But the ceiling is high and the floor is low.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, that's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up. That's a good call. We got to check ourselves every once in a while. A little fact check is good for the soul. Speaking of fact checks, I want to fact check the fact that the Big Daddy's Bandits are in the game, but they're not really getting it done. They're down 35-47 to the Bushwhackers, who did come on this year podcast, the Monday Night Quarterback, and say that they were going to turn it around. Is this one callable, gents, or should we come back to it?
I'm a little upset. I'm pulling for the Bandits here. The Bushwhackers obviously does not. He may have came on the podcast and spoke to us. He doesn't obviously listen to it. Baker Mayfield is still on his bench. I am really butthurt about that, and I would love to see Travis Kelce and or Harrison Butker pull this out and stick it to the Bushwhackers. But Kelce would have to run a few in, I guess. I don't know how
he just did catch a shovel pass from the 10-yard line that netted him. Let me look here. Little screen shovel pass, got 4. You giving him 3? Yeah, 3 or 4, somewhere in that range. Underhanded. That was kind of cute there. I like that. And then Harrison Butker can't be overlooked as well. Are you ahead of me?
Yeah, Mahomes just did some crazy shit. Touchdown, Samaje P. Ryan. So no real damage to this game.
Well, Mahomes on the other side of things for the Bushwhackers. That's it's 3-pointer. Yeah, that is.
I should say no real change. We assume that the Whackers are going to pull it out. Their lead just got a little comfier.
Why is Patty Mahomes laying on the ground holding his ankle? That doesn't look so good. You know, it looked kind of almost as though he was across the line when he threw that touchdown pass. I'm interested to see the replay on that one. But yeah, I think if this touchdown stands, we're getting into callable territory. I can't remember what the over/under was for the Bandits, but again, I'll stand by the fact that I think his team should win more games. He's got good players, Devon Achane and Breece Hall. Kyler Murray on paper should be scoring a ton of points, but he's just not doing it. Bo Nix is in fact scoring a ton of points, and then we're left with the dilemma when we got 3 quarterbacks. Do we have 1 quarterback? You know, it's hard to decide who's going to make that start week to week. I don't know, man. 2-7 just doesn't feel great. Drew, is there hope for the Bandits?
Not really. You're 2-7.
Yeah. Okay.
It's pretty much you have to win out at this point.
I think he's dangerous.
Yeah, toilet bowl material.
Yeah, definitely dangerous for the toilet bowl. Patty Mahomes has 2 arms around 2 people that I've never seen before in my life. Athletic trainer maybe on one. They both have earpieces. He's walking super gingerly. Carson Wentz is warming up. My Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win the game pick is not looking too terrible right now. And we move forward to the Bushwhackers. Drew, he's backing up his statements right now, right? And he's making things happen. He's got Patty Mahomes scoring points. I know you're butthurt about Baker Mayfield on the bench there. Any other moves that you would advise him to make going forward? And Logan, we're just on the Bushwhackers right now. We want to see kind of, what did he do wrong? What did he do right? He got the win, obviously, going to 5-3-1. But Drew, yeah, tell us, about the future for the Bushwhackers.
Yeah. No real moves to make. I mean, Chuba Hubbard's been doing really good. Kenneth Walker's been doing good. He's kind of cooling off the last few weeks as Seattle goes on a little bit of a skid here. But yeah, I think you still got to start him unless it's a real bad matchup, or he's on bye next week, so don't start him next week.
Yeah.
You got Cooper Kupp though. They're playing Miami. Don't hate that matchup. Or who else do we see here? We saw Ladd McConkey. Tough game against the Browns. They have Tennessee next week. Do you start Ladd McConkey next week?
How do we not have Cooper Kupp in the starting lineup? Hold on. I got to jump back up here. How is that not happening?
You have Jamar Chase, you have Chase Brown, Kenneth Walker, and Chuba Hubbard, which actually proves it to be a reasonably perfect decision.
Man, I would have definitely started. I'd have found a way to get Cooper Kupp in there, I think. Who's the matchup?
Well, then you would have potentially sabotaged this game.
I know. It wouldn't have gone well.
Over Jamar Chase playing the Raiders, yeah.
A week of poor decisions for Michael Randall, but man, yeah,
solid decisions there. He's DK Metcalf too. He comes back by next week, and then they have San Fran, but then they have Arizona twice. Yeah, it's a tough schedule for him, but yeah, he has DK coming back too.
Logan, I'm looking at the Bushwhackers lineup, and I think he's got the depth to make a run here. He's going to 5-3-1, definitely in playoff contention. Is this a team that you're seeing? Like if you got an opponent of the Bushwhackers and Kurt Busch, are you worried about your matchup there?
I would say so. Yeah. Depending what this injury is for Mahomes, he might finally get benched. Baker Mayfield, I remember I got smoked by Baker week 1 because he forgot to put Mahomes in the lineup. But anyway, Chase Brown, if he can keep doing what he's doing and Zach Moss doesn't get healthy anytime soon, which is what it sounds like, he looked really good, and Cincinnati's been playing pretty well. Chase is a stud. Cooper Kupp, DK, like you guys are talking about, it's almost too many options, and then is he going to pick the wrong guys? But I do think Hubbard is going to not be quite as valuable because they have this Jonathan Brooks kid their rookie that's supposed to play starting next week. So I think it'll be more of a split. Might make the decision a little easier for him going forward.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he set up super well, especially as we're getting into bye weeks for a bunch of teams coming up here pretty soon. We have bye weeks that go up until week 14, which is the final week of our fantasy football regular season. So the Bushwhackers are definitely set up. They've got the depth. They can absorb an injury. Obviously, you don't want to root for that, but yeah, I think he's got a chance to make a serious run here going forward. I'm going to move forward to the last game on our matchup here, gentlemen. We've got the Golden Titans currently at 66 points. That's where they're going to stay because they've got nobody playing right now. Going up against the 69ers, who are 6-2, and fighting back with DeAndre Hopkins in the starting lineup. I was wondering where he was. 66 for the Titans, 55 for the Niners. I'm going to really hope that the Titans hold on just because the Niners are in my division. But this, I think, was pegged as one of the better games of the week, definitely in quad box. It lived up to the bill. Logan, which one of these teams are you more worried about? Obviously, I feel the Niners are going to fall off as the season goes on, but you felt a little bit differently. Which team are you worried about here?
I still think the Niners, just because their entire starting lineup, ignoring bye weeks, you got the best quarterback, at least one of them. What is he? He was number one quarterback entering this week. Kamara's been looking better after a little slow period in the middle of the season. Kyron Williams scores every week except for this week. Justin Jefferson's really good. George Kittle had a bye. He's really good. Like, the starting lineup is solid, but they can't have anybody get hurt is the issue. That being said, the Titans have Saquon Barkley and Terry McLaurin, who has been really good this year, and Brock Bowers, who is a stud. So really both these teams are threats. I still think the 69ers are slightly better, but obviously not this week.
Yeah. It's interesting because we, the Land Sharks go up against the 69ers, obviously division foes one more time. It is week number 14, where the Baltimore Ravens are on a bye week. So he'll be without Lamar Jackson. I'll be without Derrick Henry. And we're going to kind of see.
And Zay Flowers.
Yeah, we're going to kind of see what that comes up to. So good times ahead, gents. Something to look forward to going forward. Drew, talk to me about the Titans. 3-5 record, going to 4-5 if the score holds. Obviously, still some game left to be played. You can see on the screen there, 13 minutes, 16 seconds left in the fourth quarter. But Titans are formidable, man.
They're a tough team. You catch them on the wrong week, and they put up 66. And that's kind of what the Niners ran into this week. There's going to be some weeks where they don't play as well. They have just inconsistent play. Been up and down. Tank Bigsby, not really sure what's going on in Jacksonville. It's kind of a train wreck. Devontae Adams, maybe he's getting settled in now, but maybe he'll go back to doing what he's been doing previously this year. We'll see. Terry McLaurin, only 2 catches, both were in the end zone. That helps. He's been inconsistent as well. So if Adams and McLaurin turn it on, and then Saquon keeps kind of doing what he's doing, it's going to be a tough team to beat. Problem is no depth. Bye weeks will hurt.
He's got Nico Collins coming back too, though. Nico's really good.
Yeah, and he's hanging on to Debo. Didn't he tear his ACL or something? Or no, he didn't. That was my. Oh, that's right. That's the guy I traded for. Brandon Ayuk. That's right. No, Debo will be back, and Nico Collins will be back. So, yeah, it's not awful. It's not beautiful, but it's not awful.
Yeah, your guy tore his knee all up, and my guy, his head doesn't work anymore. So we should have just not made the trade. Everything would have been fine. I could have kept Khalil Shakir, and we could have just moved forward. I don't know why we ever trade. Trades never
won the trade.
They never work out well for me. Yeah, I think, Logan, I think you make a great point. David Njoku, another guy that, should be talked about. Jameis Winston, as long as he's throwing the football in Cleveland, does have an eye for David Njoku. He'll have better matchups than the Chargers coming up going forward. Nico Collins, I can't remember if it's week 12 is when he's expected back, but before,
I've been hearing week 10.
Week 10, okay.
Yeah, look out.
Heads up.
I tried to trade for him.
Who aren't you trading for?
Well, I didn't trade you Josh Jacobs, so I chalked that up as a win. But I've been sending a lot of shit. Ooh, sorry, family show. One strike.
That's all right. Was there an offer between you and me, or we just talked about it?
No, I was like, I'll look at it, and then the next day I flew to Bali and never came to fruition.
Never looked at it. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. All right. Well, what are you going to do? Jeff,
your team's so good as it is. I mean, that's what I've been told on this podcast.
Wait, what'd you say?
Your team is so good as it is. Why would?
Yeah. I mean, I just don't know that we need to make any moves unless you're offering me a quarterback. That's really all I'm kind of looking at this point. Because we're kind of in a rough spot right there. I can't find
the trade deadline.
Trade deadline is coming up. I was going to ask you. Do you know when it is?
I thought it was the 2nd. Maybe I'm wrong.
And at week 10.
It's at week 10?
Yeah.
All right, so we got one more week.
So
right?
Yeah, I'm gonna send Kara like 6 more offers for Mixon.
You got to, man. And Drew, I do have Jackson Smith and Jigua scored 21 points this week. Zay Flowers 18. They're on my bench, man. Options down there. I'm sure, if you want to trade for one of them, they could definitely get hurt going forward. No problem.
How do you feel about Chris Olave?
He's available. He's available.
I'll make a trade with the waiver wire in a couple days.
There you go.
To get Chris Olave.
Yeah, you can have him. It's just, I don't know. I don't know if he's droppable at this point, but I said I was going to drop him, so I might. I very well might. Yeah. Depends on who's out there. Drew, I know this is the point in the show where we typically like to go through the matchups going forward. Have I missed anything? Is it okay to jump forward to that? What are we thinking, gents?
We're going forward. I can't wait for next week. I have the Tsunami. I just want to throw that out there. I'm at home. I have the Tsunami. He's in the wrong country. Yeah. History says I'm going to win that game. How feel you?
That will not be the week that Drew gets fired by himself.
Yeah.
It'll be week 11.
Yeah, Drew, your record against Tsunami has got to be, it's like 15-2. Is that right?
It's not undefeated, but it's really close.
Yeah, I think ownership would be foolish if they let you go now. Like, they need to at least keep you this week, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the deal breaker, right? I lose this week. I have no use. If I can't beat the team that I can beat every year, then what good am I? And it's time to move on. We're on to Cincinnati.
Yeah, it's a good thing you're at home in this game, because if the loss does happen, obviously we don't want to talk about that. You don't have to worry about finding your way home.
It's a short drive. Yeah, it's not a long plane ride.
Yeah, so that's good news. Yeah, man, I got you coming off a loss. Team's going to be hungry. Team's going to be angry. Tsunami he remains in Peru. Word on the street, he's going to Machu Picchu tomorrow. He has not slept in 3 days, allegedly. Okay. So it's just, I do not think that the man's going to be focused on the CFFL in week 10. I don't.
Perfect.
Is that where Aaron Rodgers gets his ayahuasca down where he's at? Why is he not? There's a lot of questions I have.
It might be, counterpoint, Logan. That's a great point. Is he going to come back more in tune with himself and his team and the league? Possibly. He might be making clear decisions.
Just won't happen this week.
Yeah, who's
Drew by a million?
Okay, Drew by a million. What do we got next, Drew?
We got the club at the Land Sharks, 6-3, 5-3. Right now, it says 462 points for both clubs. I don't know if that's updated as of week 9, but I'd take the Sharks in that one.
Appreciate your vote of confidence there. If the Players Club if they're going to fire their coach, they're going to need to lose here this week. Who we got coming up? Oh, Jordan Love on bye and hurt. Jaden Reed on bye week 10. So we'll be going up against Matthew Stafford. That's great. Phenomenal. Okay. Yeah.
We
All
got
right.
Derrick Henry running all over Cincinnati. Yeah, I'm in on that.
All right. Logan, where are you at on that one?
Sharks by 1 million.
Yeah, I agree. I can't fight it. That's how I'm feeling. I can't help how I feel. Okay. I agree. Let's take it
Your
to the
truth.
Kings and the Whackers, Drew.
Yeah, Kings and Whackers 4-4, 4-3-1. Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Whackers
They
by 1
got the
million.
Bushwhackers, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So far, no quad box material here.
No, definitely not quad box material. And when you only got 6 games, that's kind of offensive. But hey, it's the truth. Until Bob Stradamus has a chance to come on this here podcast and defend himself, we're going to keep throwing shots. And for that, we're not sorry.
Not sorry at all.
Not sorry. Logan, I think you said Whackers by 1 million as well. Is that I'm not speaking for you, am I?
I didn't verbalize it, but I was thinking it. Yeah.
Okay.
We're that
Fair
good. We got ESPN and stuff.
This ain't no hobby.
Coyotes at the replacements. Replacements at home. Coyotes coming off the big win. I think Logan has it though.
We got
Only by 500,000. I'm not going a full mil.
okay. Yeah, soft bet. I like this. So Logan, good opportunity. You got Josh Jacobs on a bye, right? Not great when you look at it by itself, but now you've got an opportunity. If it's Brian Thomas Jr. that you need to get in the lineup, now you got a spot for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that might be the move. He's been waiting. I think the only way he doesn't get in my lineup is if I trade him to Drew somehow.
Yeah, which is an option and can't be overstated, right?
I like it.
I'm just scanning. All right, no bye weeks against the enemy. Yeah, you know what? He puts on for his city. I got the replacements going forward and getting the dub, 100%.
Yeah,
I
think we throw that in the quad box. So what do you think? Or the tri box?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. Coyotes are sneaky, so I would be honored to be in the tri box, or maybe by the time we're done, might be the solo box. I don't know.
It might be.
I think that's got a shot. That's a close game. So yeah, I think maybe replacements 1.5
box.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1.5. Yeah. Yeah, it's close. But what about the Renegades at the Golden Titans? How do we? I was stacking that one up. Do we think Kara keeps it on a roll here?
I think all due respect to Kara, obviously she's bested. She beat me last year, one of her 2 wins that she received, and she beat you this year, one of her 2 wins. I think she beat my father as well this year. So it's Monfredo from the Leafs that she has a really easy time with. But she's going up against the Titans. And, while the Renegades are drunk on champagne, it's not going to help them in week 10. Titans by 1 million, not in the quad box.
Wow, not in the box. Yeah. Yeah, I second that. 790,000. I'm not going a full mil.
Okay.
I'll just send the full mil here. But maybe I don't know, maybe Renegades will have 3 of my players starting. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Are our bets voided in that situation? If the team is
we take all action.
Is that like 42% of the team is different than what it was when we made the bet?
We're not really regulated around here.
Yeah, bet MRM. I got you. That's a good point. As Kansas City is just running.
Yeah, did you see Mahomes throw it away left-handed?
Left-handed. I know. It's just like,
pretty awesome.
Man, something.
Yeah.
All right, we got one left here.
Niners at the Big Daddy Bandits. They got to take the show on the road. I don't think that's going to matter much. Get the Niners in that one by 1 billion.
You know what? I don't, Drew.
Okay.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't feel great about saying that. Can we edit that? I don't feel great about saying that. Actually, I got the Niners. I got the Niners by a slight margin. Slight margin. Man, I keep thinking the Bandits are going to win more games, but so far, I'm sorry,
but
Tom, you haven't.
Not.
Yeah,
he has as many wins as the Renegades.
When you put it like that,
The hard truth.
yeah. Where is the hard truth? You know, I could use a little hard
It's right
truth.
here. Welcome back. Hard Truth. Brought to you by Hard Truth. And they're
An
back.
hour and a
folks.
half in, but still send us our money.
That's right.
All right. Pay the
Speaking
bills,
of
somebody has to.
an hour and a half in, Logan, you got to pick this one for us.
Yeah, Niners by a lot.
All right.
We'll go like a couple hundred thousand.
I love it. I love it, man. It feels good to get the gang back together. You know, we got a couple of gimmicks we got through. Logan's fresh off his Bali trip. I'm supporting my Buccaneers football. I don't know if you caught that earlier. Buffalo Trace, I could have used you on the refill earlier, but you weren't here, so sorry about that. As we watch the Kansas City Chiefs, 4 minutes, 24 seconds left in the fourth quarter. It sounds like Hopkins is about to catch a touchdown pass. Again, he does. Ouch. You might want to cash out your Buccaneers tickets early if you have that opportunity. So sorry about your luck. It's been a pleasure, gentlemen. Logan, you got any parting words? You know, now that you're a father of a son, I think Jason said he was like a 5-year-old or something like that. Nice watch, by the way. Anything to send us off
on? Yeah, if I can find the kid, I should probably go make sure he's doing okay. Great to be back with you guys. Another beautiful CFFL season, and it's only going to get better. So buckle up.
Amen. Amen. We're just getting into, pardon my French, nut crunch time, you know, and I could say that now because we're an hour and a half into the podcast family show.
Is that a Bucknut reference there? Bucknuts? Oh.
Those nuts got crunched.
That was not my intention, but it could be seen as that. I see that. Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Drew, I you know, when you sent us a text at 6 and asked if you should be slightly intoxicated for the podcast, if that would enhance or inhibit the podcast episode, I thought we were going to get next level. So I don't know if I'm disappointed or proud. I'm kind of disappointed, I guess.
Oh, disappointed? Well, as you get older, you know how to handle your liquor a little better.
I know.
So I've just been keeping the nice cool buzz going.
I'm proud of you. You know what? I'm changing it to proud. You know?
Oh, he's mixing in the water. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta hydrate, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's smarter. You know, now that we're coming up on our 39th trip around the sun, we're getting a little bit wiser as we go, which is, you know, something to be appreciated. And just like a fine wine, sir, you are aging very, very well. Logan, it's been a blast. Thanks for joining us here on the week 9 recap. Drew, always a pleasure to chat with you, sir. I look forward to Monday nights every single night. Logan, is it safe to say we'll get you back another week here before we call this thing a wrap?
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully more than once. I mean, maybe we'll have like a Super Bowl preview, and you might want my input for some reason or another. But with that intro song, you know, you're keeping me coming back.
That's right.
For the listeners, I walked down the aisle at my wedding to Put On by Jeezy. So Mike said we would explain it. We're down to 2 listeners at this point, but there you go. Nice little
right.
bonus.
I was taking it as if you know, you know, and now everybody knows. So
all 2 of them.
Thanks for catching us back up. And that's why we keep asking you back every single time, sir. For Logan, for Drew, this is Mike. It's been a pleasure. Week 9 recap. Good luck to the coaches in week number 10. And we'll see you back here on Monday night at the Monday Night Quarterback. Until then, good luck, everybody.